Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Bastions and Basilisks. I'm Kalvin.
I'm Brandon.
In this episode, we are going to be talking about the Rogue, and it actually says Rogue. So, good on us. Good on me for doing it correctly this time. All right.
Yeah, because you do all the technical stuff. I sadly,
You just
I need to start learning what you do so I can actually try to do my campaign. Because honestly, I
you
think
just
that
sit there and look pretty. It's fine. One of us has to. So Rogue has D8 hit points. Maybe I should have kept my glasses on because apparently my eyes are really nearsighted this morning. They get light armor proficiency. They get weapon proficiency of simple weapons, hand crossbows, long swords, rapiers, and short swords. Long swords is the weird one because long swords use strength and not dexterity. And
they're not finesse, if I'm correct.
They're not.
So why would they get that?
I don't know. It makes no sense. And then tool proficiency, they get thieves' tools. I think it could just be a holdover from older editions.
Were longswords finesse in editions?
For saving throws, they get dexterity and intelligence, which is why having an intelligent rogue in older editions was always... having a high intelligence was almost more important than having a high dexterity, because in older editions, they were skill monkeys.
I mean, the bards and rogues kind of are still.
They still are, but it's they don't get skill points anymore. They just get proficiency. In older editions, if it was like 8 times, or it's your intelligence times modifier times 8, and that's how many skill points you get at first level. So.
That's like what, 3.5?
Yeah, 3 and 3.5. For skills, they choose 4 from acrobatics, athletics, deception, insight, intimidation, investigation, perception, performance, persuasion, sleight of hand, and stealth. That is a whole lot. Starting equipment is relevant. Expertise. At first level, choose 2 of your skill proficiencies or 1 of your skill proficiencies and 1 of your proficiencies with thieves' tools. Your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check you make that uses either of the chosen proficiencies. At 6th level, you can choose 2 more of your proficiencies in skills or with thieves' tools to gain this benefit. Expertise, I don't like that only 2 classes get expertise. I mean, they now, in Tasha's, they have another, they have the skilled or something feat. There's another feat that you get, like, expertise. So it's not just, because they have prodigy in Xanathar's, but that is specific to half-elf, half-orc, or human. Whereas the one in Tasha's is anybody can take it, which is nice. It's just kind of bonkers that, I don't know.
You would figure that each class gets to have some sort of expertise.
Right. It's weird that wizards, spend all their time learning Arcana and don't get expertise in Arcana. They're just proficient.
Or history to a degree, because usually, like, something like their own relevant skills.
So, it's always weird. I mean, technically, there are ways to learn skills. That's the other thing, is that it's kind of they don't have an official way for you to gain skills without the feat, and even then, the only feat that they have to allow is the skilled feat in this book, and even then, feats are optional. Sneak attack, the bread and butter of rogues. Beginning at first level, you know how to strike subtly and exploit a foe's distraction once per turn. Notice per turn, not per round. You can deal an extra 1d6 damage to one creature you hit with an attack if you have advantage on the attack roll. The attack must use a finesse or ranged weapon. You don't need advantage on the attack roll if another enemy of the target is within 5 feet of it. The enemy isn't incapacitated, and you don't have disadvantage on the attack roll. The amount of extra damage increases as you gain levels in this class, as shown in the sneak attack column of the rogue table. That's disgusting, because it ends at 10d6, which is just nasty.
That's higher than a lot of spells.
Yeah, but it's also only once per turn.
Yeah.
And not AoE.
That is true.
Like,
a lot of AoEs are...
Fireball is 8d6.
Yeah, and that hits, what, a 10-foot or 15-foot?
20-foot radius.
Wow, I have not read Fireball in ages.
Or lightning bolt, which is a 100-foot line. You know. Thieves can't. That's not true. They can. During your rogue training, you learn Thieves Can't, a secret mix of dialects, jargon, and code that allows you to hide messages in seemingly normal conversation. Only another creature that knows Thieves Can't understands such messages. It takes 4 times longer to convey such a message than it does to speak the same idea plainly. Oh, that's weird. I didn't know that it did that.
I did.
In addition, you understand a set of secret signs and symbols used to convey short, simple messages, such as whether an area is dangerous or the territory of a thieves' guild, whether loot is nearby, or whether the people in the area are easy marks or will provide a safe house for thieves on the run. I think that doesn't get nearly enough use.
Yeah, the hand signs I've never actually seen used, even within like some shows.
I don't think Thieves Can't in general gets enough use.
I've seen Thieves Can't used once in the first, and I haven't finished it, and obviously this is going to go to Critical Role, but I've only seen it once within that, and then within my own campaign I've actually started using it, implementing it, but I didn't remember the hand sign, so I kind of want to start doing that. I've implemented Thieves Can't in writing before, once, and then in speech twice in my campaign, so
like
it's really cool actually.
Same thing with Druidic. My brother incorporated Druidic into his game, which was kind of cool. Like, so it's one of those things that just use it. I mean,
it's super niche, and you should honestly use it if you have them. At least give some sort of like reason for it to be there.
Right. Cutting action. Starting at 2nd level, your quick thinking and agility allow you to move and act quickly. You can take a bonus action on each of your turns in combat. Cool. This action, it's. I feel like it should be worded like you can use a bonus action on each of your turns in combat to use this. You know, because it's like, yeah, I know I can take a bonus action on each of my turns in combat. Thanks, though. I'm aware of it. This action can be used only to take the dash, disengage, or hide action.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how it is written. Like, it doesn't say you can use this bonus action to do that.
Right, yeah, you can.
It's just you can use your bonus action this turn, end period.
Oh, how nice! Thanks.
Yeah, it's like it's just its own.
It can be worded better, yeah. Like, it should. I mean, it really could just be like you can use your bonus action to use the dash, disengage, or hide action. Roguish archetype. We'll go over those eventually. Ability score improvement. Rogues are the second best for this because they get 6, I believe. Because it's 4, 8, 10, 12, 16, and 19.
Yep, you're right. 6.
Boom. Whereas fighters get 7. So. Uncanny dodge. Starting at 5th level, when an attacker that you can see hits you with an attack, you can use your reaction to have the attack's damage against you.
Really useful. Really used.
Yeah, it's a good use. I mean, it gives rogues besides like attacks or opportunities something to do with their reaction.
Exactly.
Especially if it's a big hit, like you can essentially, you're like, that's a critical hit from a giant.
And I'm going to give myself basic resistance to the damage.
I'm going to have the damage on that one. My brother actually used it or not my brother, but in my brother's game, my sister used it when she fell into lava. He allowed her to use the uncanny dodge to kind of, or something like that, or maybe
you uncannily dodge the lava using your shoes as leverage, and you just hop your ass out of there.
She fell into, yeah. Her drow was very unhappy.
Fucking blame her.
Evasion. Beginning at 7th level, you can nimbly dodge out of the way of certain area effects, such as a red dragon's fiery breath or an ice storm spell. When you are subjected to an effect that allows you to make a dexterity saving throw or to take only half damage, you instead take no damage if you succeed on the saving throw and only half damage if you fail, which is such a good ability. There's actually one game, 3rd edition game that my brother was in that the DM actually didn't let him use his evasion because essentially he was cornered by 2 fire elementals, and then one of the players decided to drop a fireball on them. She was not the smartest. Yeah. So he's like, I'm not going to give you your evasion on this one. Sorry. Like
Like,
you,
it kind of
you
makes sense.
you can't justify dodging out of the way,
Yeah.
nimbly. Like you are, there's nowhere for you to go. And my brother's like, you know what? I don't like it, but I respect that decision. Like,
Can we just take a note to say it doesn't say that it's once per turn? Like this could happen
true.
any
No, I
point.
know.
Like
Yeah.
say you keep having it happen, you can just uncanny dodge. I didn't realize that. I thought it was a
No, no, you
reaction.
mean evasion.
Yeah, evasion. Sorry.
Because uncanny dodge just uses your reaction.
It's like so weird because like it incorporates dodging, so my brain immediately goes there.
Wait a minute. I just had a great idea. What if you did? What if you took five? I mean, what if you went rogue monk and you went specifically, um, the kobold monk from
The Cobalt Soul one?
yeah, Cobalt Soul, because they get like Mind of Mercury, which allows them to take a bonus. They get an amount of reactions per turn equal to their Wisdom modifier, or something like that, or they spend key points or something like that.
That's a lot of reactions.
You're like poof, cow, just kidding. Poof, oh, that's not us. Poof, whatever.
Like they keep landing crits on you. You're just like half damage, and then you're like barely outside with 1 HP. Like I made it though.
I made it though. One of the other idea I had was using that and like the Polar Master or Sentinel.
Sentinel's really good.
Because you're like, he's like, essentially people just come to base you and you're like, and then they're like, he's used all his reactions. And you're like, no, fucker. Like,
so when it comes to sneak attack, you get your attack action for it, and then you get your reaction that could use it, correct? So technically you could use it twice.
Twice per round, yeah.
Thought so.
Unless you had more reactions.
Would you technically have more ability if you get a, like, say you multi-class into
Cobalt Soul.
fighter action surge? Could that also work?
No, because that is still during the same turn.
Fuck.
But it would work with Cobalt Soul because you have more reactions.
Yeah.
As long as it is on a different turn.
Yeah, I see how that works now. So
I'm not saying that would be a broken whatever the fuck thing that you love.
Gisalt.
Gisalt, yeah.
It's not broken because, it's in the game, but it's definitely going to be heavily used.
Gisalt is optional.
Yeah.
Is my point.
Also, you don't have to Gisalt. You can multi-class using it.
Yeah, I know, but you're not. It's way more effective if you get up to that 10d6 sneak attack damage.
Oh yeah. Thankfully, none of my characters are in that level of realm of being able to use multiple reactions like that.
Not the made 30 barrel rolls to get out of the situation.
Yeah, that'd be fucking bad.
All right, reliable talent. By 11th level, you have refined your chosen skills until they approach perfection. Whenever you make an ability check that lets you add your proficiency bonus, you treat a roll of 9 or lower as a 10. Which is, considering how many skills, I mean, you could have 8 skills at first level, depending on your race.
Even if you, the optional custom background allows you to select 2 of like your own.
All backgrounds get 2 skills.
Yeah.
So you're going to have at least 6. Possibly 8, depending on what if you go like half elf, you get 2. If you go variant human, you get 1. If like tabaxi, you get 2. So it depends what your race is, but you can start with 8, and I don't know how many skills there are total.
So many.
And it's whenever you make, and you have to realize that it says whenever you make an ability check that lets you add your proficiency bonus. That means tools are ability checks.
There's 18.
So you're almost proficient in half the skills.
Yeah.
At first level. I mean, if my brother had a whole idea where if he multi-classed in such a way that he would have proficiency in like everything.
Jesus.
Or almost. I think he was only like 1 or 2 skills short. But that actually with the feat if you're a human, no, it's not worth being human.
I think very human allows you to.
No, yeah, but
then or are you talking about starting off with?
But then you have then you have 1 from human, and then you can take prodigy, which is just another skill. So it's really you're just getting 2 anyway. So might as well you could be a half elf, and you get 2 from being a half elf, and then take prodigy, and then that's another one. Like so, it's one of those things that and then you can take the skilled feat, and then you can take the one from Tasha's, and so now you have like 13 skills or something. You're like You're like Shedinja from Pokemon. I don't know how familiar with Pokemon you are.
I know what you're. That's from the Hoenn region, the fucking husk where
Yeah,
you.
the one that's immune to
evolve
everything
like
but
a-
5 types of Pokemon moves. Like that'd be the same concept. You're like, I'm proficient in all like.
But that one thing that you're not proficient in, God, you're awful at it.
Yeah, but see, that's why you take 2 levels of Bard,
Exactly.
because then you're technically proficient in everything. And so that's why the build of reliable like a 3 levels of Bard, 7. I mean, you could go 17 levels of Rogue or 11 Rogue, 3 Bard, 6 Artificer, just for the expertise and all tool proficiencies. Just so that you get a normal bonus to all your tool proficiencies. And that means that no matter what, you're always getting a minimum of a 10 plus modifier.
Just had a spider crawl on me and I had to kill it.
You live in a place where that's dangerous.
Killing a spider or having them crawl on me?
Having a spider on you.
Uh-huh.
They're not really dangerous here because it's...
Sounds like I'm from Australia, Jesus.
it's 24 degrees out.
It's like 50.
Florida's technically the Australia of the United States.
Like, we're not talking about the meth gators.
That's a mean thing to call your... Anyway. Blind Sense, which is bizarre. Starting at 14th level, you are able to hear. If you are able to hear, you are aware of the location of any hidden or invisible creature within 10 feet of you.
This is like kind of a weird one.
Which to me, yeah, that feels kind of out of place.
I could see this going for like something like the Blood Hunter, but not necessarily. That's not if it was like you
Yeah.
can sense hidden like passageways or something like that, then maybe.
I think it might be their way of getting around essentially other rogues trying to sneak up on them.
That might be.
Like if somebody it's almost like True Sight essentially for rogues.
Yeah.
So that enemies can't get like they can't sneak up on you and get advantage because you don't know that they're there.
Turns out this is just also another way of having alert.
So it's one of those things that it seems weird, but it's probably like thematically makes sense. Kind of like Rangers being able to just fucking stand still and hide. Like it's you're like. So I didn't hear what she said.
She said she's changing the name to Life Alert.
Slippery Mind. At 15th level, you have acquired greater mental strength. You gain proficiency in wisdom saving throws, which does
That's
not
actually,
hurt.
yeah, it doesn't hurt, but it's also like one of the few that I know that actually through the class allows you to get another save as proficiency. Like I don't see many do that, if any other.
Is she participating now?
I don't know yet.
Looking at it.
But yeah, no, it makes sense because that's wisdom saves are usually being mind controlled or illusions sometimes. So they already get intelligence, so wisdom makes sense that their mind is to
Arcane Trickster casts an illusion on you to steal from your friends. You're like, nah, fam.
Elusive. Beginning at 18th level, you're so evasive that attackers rarely gain the upper hand against you. No attack roll has advantage against you while you aren't incapacitated. Once again, that doesn't make sense. Like, why do they get blind sense then? Like,
There's so many questions of why and not enough answers of yes.
right. Shh. Level 20, Stroke of Luck. At level 20, you have an uncanny knack for succeeding when you need to. If your attack misses a target within range, you can turn the miss into a hit. Alternatively, if you fail an ability check, you can treat the D20 roll as a 20. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest.
That I didn't know. I never have gotten to a level 20 rogue, so it's like that's fucking broken.
Right.
That's really neat.
Right. Well, because I mean, you'd hate to try to assassinate some powerful fucking thing and then miss.
Yeah, and then not be able to.
You're like, nope, fuck it. I'm gonna make it a hit.
It's like legendary resistance to a degree.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a one-off legendary resistance per short rest. That's not terrible.
Yeah, like it's actually kind of impressive.
You know, keep track of it, and especially if you're, especially if you have like if you're a halfling and you have like the lucky feat.
Yeah, the lucky feat's really fucking useful for halflings.
And like the blade of luck, or there's a lot of if you want to abuse the luck, but some of them, I think some of them are based. It almost feels like some of them are based on, like, why is a rogue lucky? Like, why? How does that make? Like I think it's just based on halfling rogues are lucky, so let's just make it luck as part of it. Like I think it's always built upon the base.
I guess it's like they kind of use this as like they have so much experience after being level 20. They're like, yeah, they're like their skill allows them to kind of be like unnaturally like gifted, trying to avoid the word luck.
Right.
So I think it's like their way of trying to like push lucky without actually, using it.
It's that main character power. Because I'm thinking of like any time and like I think in Haikyuu, at one point the main character misses a block, but he just like slides his foot out and blocks it with his like so he bounces it back up off his foot, which is a legal block or a legal hit. So like it's just one of those things you're like, what? So, or he usually blocks it with his face, because real main character energy.
You choose to be unconscious, merely pretending.
You think the consciousness is your ally.
Wrong you are.
Wrong you are. But yeah, that's Rogue. That's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Rogues are good. Rogues are a good class.
I can't even start to like explain how rogues are just able to be broken in so many ways.
Yeah.
Sneak attack alone.
Right. Like I actually pointed that out to somebody. Because somebody I follow on Twitter was like, "Oh, tell me how what's up with Purple Dragon Knights? Like, why would you pick it?" And I'm like, and I pointed out, I'm like, they're a really good frontline support character. Like, they get multiple abilities that are help their allies. They have something that's useful in non-combat situations. Like, and then I brought up the whole I use my action surge. You get an attack as your reaction. If you could just nuke an enemy if you go in the right order, you could just nuke an enemy first round.
Yeah.
And if they're surprised first round of combat, you could just
and if you
especially a fighter of 17th level, because they don't get their fourth swing until 20, I think. But that's the fighter gets to swing 6 times, 7 depending on if they have an offhand weapon, and then if you get those rogues going before you, then you just go burp, and so you're like, oh, assassinate, my turn. I swing 6 times, or I swing 3 times, then action surge, swing another 6 times, and then you both can use your reaction to hit him again with sneak attack and critical hit. You could just be like, okay, bye, Tarask. It was nice knowing you.
The Tarask is not immune to that damage. It's not immune to shame damage.
Sure. It's not immune to tactical damage.
That fireball got reflected back, but that sneak attack damage and that purple Dragonite, guess what? They alone saved the world.
Yeah. See, it's one of those things that I respect the shit out of some clutch play. A good fireball or whatever, always good. But I brought it up before. I think in these videos that my friend's Turtle Druid that cast Spike Growth and then went into his shell, and I'm like, that is some solid fucking tactical use of abilities. You're like, oh, I'm in here. Now you have to shoot at me. You have to run to get to me to prevent me from keeping this spell up. You have to run to me, which means you're going to take all that damage or go around the long way. Or you have to shoot at me, but I have a 23 armor class. You have disadvantage against me, and I have advantage on Constitution save. Like it's just, it's. I fucking love when somebody's like, I'm gonna do this thing. Like I'm like, yes, do that thing. So, Rogue is a really good class. Like, so especially like we said, like you're like, oh, they just get fucking smashed out of somewhere, and you're like, nah, fam, uncanny dodge. Like,
It's like it was 165 damage. Now I'm like, I definitely should be dead, but
I'm definitely not happy.
yeah, it's like
Or
I'm
you know,
mostly dead.
they're just
But
frontline, and they're like the dragon is like, bleh, and they're like,
they pass their save, so they're like barely moving inches, singeing their cape. They're like, that was my cape, you dickhead.
my cape, not my cape. And I mean, the sneak attack.
No
I mean, they only get
capes.
one. See, they only swing. They only can swing once, which is the only. It's really the only negative, unless you're going two weapons. So they're very much a hit or literally a hit or miss with their damage. That was not on purpose.
Guess they never miss, huh?
Right. Um,
I want to die.
so it's, but when they hit hard because that's bonus damage. Like they might
And
not be
flanking
doing.
is so impressive.
Yeah,
Like-
they might not be doing, like a fighter with a greatsword can do technically more in a round. At higher levels. At level 20, a fighter can swing 8 times with a greatsword, and if they, I really need to make a fighter rogue.
If only,
that sneak
like,
attack damage apply, like does two. Oh no, that's greater weapon fighting, which you can't use sneak attack. Damn.
Yeah, because don't they have to be finesse weapons?
Yeah. Make it finesse.
You just dual wield rapiers, like poke poke.
Well, it's. I think you have to. It has to be a weapon that you're wielding with 2 hands. I'm going to get into this after. I'm not going to get into this now. But the light longsword, there's a magic longsword of light or something that's just a handle that's effectively a lightsaber.
I don't know what you're talking about. The sword of sun or sun
Yeah.
ray or something.
Sun sword.
Yeah,
It's
in the
a
curse.
finesse. There's one in the DMG.
I know there's one in the.
There's one that's the sun, the weapon of light or whatever the fuck it is, but no, there's a longsword that's effectively a lightsaber, and it's counted as a finesse weapon, and technically, longswords are versatile, so they can be used 2-handed. So if great weapon fighting counts, if you have to be wielding a weapon 2-handed, you could technically wield a longsword 2-handed, and if it's the sun sword, it's finesse. And then, so you could go, ha! Sneak attack damage gets rerolled if it's a 1 or a 2. Eat a dick. Which is even funnier if you're like an assassin and you're like, that's how you assassinate people, is just stabbing them through the back. And then you're like, look at all these D1s I rolled. Let's roll them again, bitches! Like,
everyone at the party at the table is just like, he's been re-rolling for 5 minutes because
it does only allow you to re-roll once, but there's 17 dice. What the shit? Yeah, no, but Rogue can be a real broken multi-class. Actually, they're a really good class, and then they're a really good class to have like dip into other classes with, like
100%.
going like Eldritch, like getting the Eldritch Warlock with Eldritch Knight, or with Eldritch. No. So Eldritch Smite. There we go. You're like, boom. I got a crit, so now my sneak attack damage are doubled, and I'm gonna use this. So that's like, it's like a normal smite, but you can use it, twice per short rest, which is better than fucking paladins. Yeah. All right, we should end this.
Yeah, I'm trying to like understand the sorcerer, and I'm like struggling now.
As you should be. All right. Thanks for watching. I'm Kalvin.
Brandon.
Bye. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And now you get to listen to the outro song. And that's the outro song. Yeah.